Hey there guys, Shawn Michael here from WinBeta, and welcome to episode 32 of the WinBeta Podcast for the week of September 11th, 2015. With me is co-host Zach Bowden.
Hello,
Zach.
Hello, everyone.
And this week we'll talk about all sorts of stuff. Quite a bit of news this week, both Microsoft and Apple.
Yeah. No way!
I
really?
know.
This is the Apple podcast now.
We should have called up Michael, see if we could get him as a guest.
We should have. We should have done
I did
that.
tweet him. He didn't respond. Anyway.
He's probably busy in his office at 9 to 5 Mac.
Probably actually doing stuff because they have news this week. Anyway, so in this week's podcast, we have Windows 10 news, including installation numbers and some controversy about it installing on people's devices, other things. We got Windows 10 mobile news, kinda. We also don't have Windows 10 mobile news, which is news in itself. We got Office news. We got the Apple keynote, which will probably mix a balance of trolling and news. We're mostly going to troll, but we'll talk about the Microsoft stuff. And then we have this week's poll results on if Windows Phone were to go away, what would you use? So there's that. And we have a new game, which we will keep as a surprise for now, which Zach just found out about right before the podcast. Are you excited for the new game, Zach?
The new game? Absolutely.
Do you remember the new game?
You know what? I was like, what new game? Then I just remembered it. I do remember the new game.
Yes, we have a new game.
It's hardly a game. It's more just a segment that lasts.
Whatever. We have a new thing. Oh, man. Oh, you stay in the live chat, and I'll stay in the YouTube comments.
The new chat is alive right now. There's people counting numbers, and because I accidentally put a 1 in the message I sent. But who cares? Because this week there were numbers from, well, not from Microsoft, but there were more reported numbers about the upcoming, the currently released Windows 10 operating system install numbers. So the chat's currently counting up to 81 million, which is the reported number. But there was also another report this week claiming that it was close to 100 million. Now, I understand this is not correct. It's it's not. 81 million, I guess you could say, is close to 100 million, but
it's all relative, right? What's close?
Close, in my mind, close is 95, 96 million. It's not there yet. Install rates have slowed down. You may have noticed they announced 75 million whenever it was, and then when this report came out, it was only like, I think it was 5 or 6 days later, whenever, and it only climbed 6 million, which is way slower than the 25 million a week.
Right.
Now, I'm guessing this is because they've stopped gathering, when the Windows 10 rolled out in waves, and with each wave they added new devices to the supported list. They may have stopped that for now, but I don't think they've stopped that permanently. I mean, I think they might pick up pace again soon. They're just currently working on a number of fixes and other stuff for more devices for support for those who reserved. So those who are worried about the slowdown, I wouldn't be too worried just yet. There's still a bit of time before.
Well, what's the number where we would be okay if it plateaued a little bit?
I'm not sure.
Because I mean, obviously, people say 1 billion, and that's fine. I guess Windows 7 actually reached 1 billion, right?
I have no idea. I'm sure, mate. No, Windows as a whole. No, I think it was like 700 million.
So obviously, people say 1 billion. That's a pretty lofty goal. I'd say at a certain point it's going to plateau, and then these numbers are going to go up with enterprises, Redstone, that sort of stuff. So I'm okay that it's slowed down. I don't think that's a huge deal.
No, I mean, like I said, it will likely pick up again in the near future. And I imagine a lot of people are also waiting for Threshold 2, especially IT admins and whoever else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I did a story this week, I guess we'll talk about it a little bit, on Office 2016.
Yes.
And, even with something like Office, which generally speaking is not, I mean, it's advanced, don't get me wrong, but it's not an entire operating system. And some people even use that. They choose to wait like 4 months for their enterprise to adopt it, even for Office.
Yeah.
So for an entire operating system, it's reasonable that people would take a little bit longer than 4 months.
Absolutely. And I mean, like I said, I imagine a number of people are waiting for Threshold 2, or maybe even for Redstone, which is June next year. So we will have to see what is going on with that. But it's not the end of the world.
No, it's not.
And
well,
I think...
Hold on, Zach, though. To you and me, it's not the end of the world. But maybe to Microsoft it is.
No, like I said, I think Microsoft will, because Microsoft kind of has the handle on who gets Windows 10 right now. Those who reserved are waiting for Microsoft to allow them in. It's like an exclusive club. Like you have this device, but you can't come in yet. We're waiting the exclusives with the Surface Pro 3s and the Dell XPSs in first. You can wait.
You know what's weird?
Well,
you have people who have reserved a copy and aren't getting it, and then you have people that haven't reserved a copy but are getting it. Like, think about that. There's somebody who's like, I want Windows 10. I want Windows 10. And they're like, no. We got to sneak in and install it on this guy's device who doesn't want Windows 10 first. Well, you can use the creation tool.
Well, they're not installing it technically, are they?
Well, they're not installing it, but they're downloading it.
Yeah, it's taking up space. This is your story. Nice segue, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Why'd you say anything? Oh, man.
I have to compliment a segue when there is one.
Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, according to a report from the Inquirer, Microsoft has confirmed that it automatically downloads Windows 10 into upgrade-eligible Windows PC. So there's like a...
They confirmed?
When the Inquirer inquired about the bizarre phenomenon, Microsoft confirmed, quote, for individuals who have chosen to receive automatic updates through Windows Update, we help upgradable devices get ready for Windows 10 by downloading the files they'll need if they decide to upgrade. When the upgrade is ready, the customer will be prompted to install Windows 10 on the device.
If you enable automatic updates, why is this a surprise, though?
Well, here's the debate. Is there a difference between an upgrade and an update?
Technically, yeah.
So they chose to receive automatic updates, which is like security patches.
Yeah, but I mean, in this new age, I guess Microsoft wants a new version of Windows to still be an update.
Well, some people are like...
I mean, they're technically different, but technically the same. Most people refer to an upgrade as through editions of Windows, so Windows XP to Vista to 7. They're all upgrades. But an update is like a patch to fix something, or the upcoming Threshold 2, but like these
cumulative updates,
yes.
Which we've sworn not to talk about.
they're more updates compared to an upgrade. But I mean, technically Threshold 2 would be an upgrade if we think about it, because it does increase the build number and you will get the upgrading Windows screen. But Microsoft, I imagine, will be marketing it, or at least talking about it as an update. Like, this is an update to Windows 10. So I guess we've passed the age of upgrades.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they use the term upgrade. Then again, they don't use their own terms anyway. Remember when it was like, didn't they pushed like universal apps, or they pushed like a Windows apps, and they tried to remove the term universal?
Yeah.
And then they were like, nah, never mind. They're universal apps. Nobody cares. So I don't know. Let me a few more details in about this. Reports from users are that a 3.5 to 6 gig file, I guess would be a number of files, are showing up in their BT folder, which is like this hidden away backdoor folder. And it's like 3.5 to 6 gigs, which on some devices is not, like, you just don't have that to spare.
Oh, right.
And so it's just showing up because they've opted to automatically update. And then I'd say like here's the scale for you. You got feathers ruffled, like angry, livid, and then like apoplectic. And like they're somewhere between angry and livid. I don't think people are like throwing their computers away out of, like spite or something like that. But I don't know. I was reading the comments and people are pretty upset about this.
Well,
because it's like they view it as like an invasion of their space and their computer.
Yeah, but I have one solution. Just update to Windows 10.
Well, I have two solutions. Either turn off automatic updates.
Absolutely. It's entirely your fault.
I don't think this would be a problem if you turned off automatic updates.
And because I saw a number of businesses or IT admins complaining about this. If your company's systems are using their own Windows update, using Microsoft Windows Update, then Windows 10 being installed automatically or downloaded automatically is not a surprise. You should be using your own sort of like segregated version of Windows Update in which enterprises patch PCs when they're ready. So, I mean, if this was a full-on enterprise, they'd be able to take out the Get Windows 10 app and say, this is not allowed to be installed on our network. We take this out, and it doesn't get installed on any other systems within that network. So, anti-admins who have it on their devices who didn't want it there, you're doing it wrong.
Well, let me put it this way. There are people so Microsoft's had some security issues where people were upset. Basically, they were upset that Microsoft admitted what they were doing. Like, Microsoft was transparent about some of the security.
If they lied?
Well, no. And then so people were like, oh, like they were transparent. They shouldn't have told anyone because Google and Facebook do this anyway. And so people were like, blah, blah, blah. And then like they aren't transparent and this thing kind of happens. Another thing people are upset about is if they used a metered connection. I guess it downloaded like a giant file.
But I think it downloads... It doesn't just download everything all at once, does it? I think it downloads it slowly. Like when you have this... when the
I don't know. I can see why people are upset. I think that they should have done something. I mean, they're getting 100 million, they're going to hit 100 million soon. I know they haven't yet, but they're going to hit 100 million within a few months.
I wonder how many of those millions or people within them who didn't actually want Windows 10.
I don't know. How many people just clicked update and read?
I mean, you can go back if you didn't want it. I mean, it's quite easy and it's quite quick as well. Surprisingly quick to downgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 7 after before the first month. Or you can dual boot, exactly.
There's somebody, I don't know. I can see why people are upset though. A big file, people upgraded it without them really giving permission.
Yeah.
And then, I can see why they're upset, but hopefully they'll stop or people get more upset.
Or
anyway.
Yeah, so
there's that.
I wonder if the reserve Windows 10 app will actually reserve... it's Get Windows 10. I wonder if the Get Windows 10 app will get Threshold 2 when that comes out, or whether it will just continue to download 10.240 and upgrade from there. I guess Microsoft has to flip a switch at one point so that the Get Windows 10 app starts downloading the newer bits, right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
When that RTMs. Yeah. Anyway, regarding the upcoming Threshold 2, I wrote a post this week.
New stuff.
Yeah, I wrote a post this week about some of the latest builds of Windows 10, and it appears Microsoft is kind of refining the Windows 10 UI because many will agree that the Windows 10 UI in the RTM is kind of there, but it's a little bit. It's not the same everywhere. I mean, they've done a good job. I mean, they've done a way better job than Windows 8. But there's still a few little UI elements that kind of aren't there. So, for example, the modern UI apps or the Windows Store apps on the Windows 10 RTM don't share the same open-close window animations as the Win32 app. So if you close File Explorer, you get like this nice fade effects. But where if you close Microsoft Edge or the calculator or whatever, you get it just closes, so no animation. And
did you do a video where you showed all of them? Somehow, or it was pictures. I remember you showing like every single menu and how they're different.
It was a picture. And I got that picture from the open forum, which many people actually visit. So there's a lot of interesting things in the open forum. I should visit them more often. But yeah, so with these latest builds, that animation is back for all apps, so that UI is now consistent across every program you open, and also icons. Microsoft is continuing to update a number of system icons throughout the entire operating system. So those Windows 95 3.1 icons that are still lurking, they're slowly being updated. So the device
and the new ones look pretty good.
Yeah, they don't look too bad. The device manager, the devices and printers area, just all the icons are being updated with new Windows 10 style icons, which I don't mind. They're not too bad.
They certainly look better than the old ones.
Yeah.
Because like you said before, they had like this one's from Windows Vista, this one's from Windows XP.
Because Microsoft has been carrying like Windows 3.11 icons since Windows 3.11, like through Windows XP, Vista 7, 8. They were there hidden, or maybe not even hidden. Like some dialog boxes were still using them if you could dig deep enough to find those dialog boxes. But yeah, no, it's very interesting. Also, Microsoft has also sort of slightly dimmed the context menus. So in the RTM, they're kind of they're blindingly white. But if you right click now, you get a slight tint of grey, which is a little bit. I mean, it's nothing too drastic. And to be fair, I'd much rather them just have all the context menus be dark like they are on the taskbar. But I don't know. That's what they're doing. And so that's the current state of the Threshold 2 builds.
Well, they say it takes a wise man to play the fool. Well, I'm not playing, unfortunately. I honestly don't know the answer to this question. Is it really that hard to change some of this stuff?
Well, I mean, interestingly, I tweeted about a bug yesterday or last night about the taskbar at the top of the window or the top of the screen in Windows 10 RTM. There's a stupid UI bug where modern apps kind of leak behind the taskbar. And one of, Jason, I think his name is, one of the people working on Windows 10. I think he works for Microsoft. He develops Microsoft Edge specifically. He was like, "Yes, this bug is on our radar, and it has been for a while." I'm like, "Well, why isn't it fixed?"
How long's it on your radar? Like if a missile was on your radar, you would do something about it.
It's like, well, yeah. So you saying, so when you say how hard is this stuff to fix, I'm not sure if it's hard to fix, just when they get around to doing it. And a lot of this stuff, they looked at and went, right, this stuff, we'll fix it in Threshold 2. And I guess that's what they're doing. Because this is, as I keep saying, the air quotes real RTM of Windows.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
They could call it that, and then they could claim they had 100 million downloads before RTM. Because remember, Microsoft never officially said when RTM was.
Well, but we know when it was.
Oh, we know when it was.
They keep saying that there's not an RTM, but they did sign off a build of Windows 10.
Oh, Zach, this is what they could do. They could just, when Threshold 2 hits, they call that the RTM. They got 100 million downloads pre-RTM.
But then OEMs go, wait, so what do we preload onto our systems? Are you telling me you made us preload pre-release software? It'll
go down as one of the greatest pre-release
or the greatest
things in history.
Trolling moments of Microsoft Episode 1. Pre-release software on production hardware.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, it's almost, it sounds like a slogan. Except
that would be a terrible slogan.
That's a bad slogan.
Yeah. Sounds good, though. Sounds really good. Is my story next as well? I haven't got
it is.
Oh, okay. What's the next story? Oh.
Why do builds take so long, Zach?
Why do they take so long?
Why do they take so long?
I don't know. Let me read it. I actually should have read this before we started. Right, so this week Microsoft, before Microsoft published this post, many insiders have been annoyed at Microsoft's inability to get a new build out to insiders, desktop and mobile. Mobile more so, but desktop, many people are mad. And I complained about this a lot on Twitter this week as well, which is probably why people are sending out a poll about who rants more, me or Thorough. Trust me, it's sometimes it can be me at some points, but I have good reason.
I think
the insider program sucks. And that's an unpopular opinion, but I definitely think it does. I've been, unfortunately, to all the Microsoft lovers, I'm still a Microsoft lover, but to the left of me here, there is a Mac running, and it's got OS X on it, the new version, El Capitan, and it's had, since June, 7 or 8 build releases. How many Windows 10 builds have there been? Since June. That's not 7 or 8, that's the answer.
Since June?
Since June. 2 or
Probably
3. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go with official RTM, the one in June, and then one since RTM.
I know people are going to say, but Apple are developing for hardware, just a short amount of hardware. They know how it all works. I don't care. I know that's a legitimate argument and whatever else, but if you just purely comparing the programs alone, the Apple beta program it works. It just works. It's just the Microsoft one is so unpredictable. It's like, we could have a new build this week, or we might not. If it doesn't reach these certain rings, it doesn't go through. So for those who don't know, this is what Microsoft actually does to get a build out. They compile a build and it's run through their OSG. It's run through the canary rings and all that stuff, but it eventually reaches OSG fast, which is operating system groups fast. And if it does well there, it will be pushed down to operating system groups slow. Now that's the last internal group it reaches before it hits insiders. So it's OSG fast, OSG slow, insider fast, insider slow. And more often than not, a build will never reach OSG insider fast. I mean, a number of them reach OSG slow, but not all. A lot of them don't. So there's many levels a build has to pass before it can get to us. And if there's a air quotes showstopper bug, Microsoft thinks it's not good enough. This build isn't good enough for insiders. They will not publish that build. And this happens an awful lot, I have noticed.
So, my question is, so when they had the build, yesterday Gabe did this little teasing thing, and he sent out a straw poll, which incidentally crashed the servers for straw, I think, because it had too many votes. It was down, in any event. And it said, should we release it even though it has a bug, yes or no?
And insiders, surprisingly, because when I ranted about this on Twitter, insiders were like, how can you say this? We would much rather stable builds. I'm like, but join Insider. They're like, no, we want stable builds. Microsoft did a poll, and the results in the poll were, would you like this buggy build, yes or no? And I think when I checked it, 1,000 votes, it was like 90% yes. So insiders realised that bugs will happen in these builds.
Right, but then saying that, and then people were complaining, and Gabe even tweeted, like, tongue-in-cheek. He was like, to the 10% who said no, I suggest you go leave the Insider program.
No, he said drop to the slow ring. The slow ring exists for builds that aren't as buggy as the fast ring.
Right. So I'm saying, but Microsoft does this tongue-in-cheek thing. Should we release the build? Yes or no, even though it has bugs. And then people say yes, and then it's okay, we'll release it. And they go, oh, never mind, it has a bug. But you asked us a poll yesterday if we were okay with bugs.
The bug, to be fair though, the bug. So you're talking about Gabe today saying, okay.
I mean, I understand that, like, a reasoning to it, but based on the polls yesterday and today, it seems odd. I know that you'd have to. It prevents you from installing the future builds and stuff. It seems odd to me.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain bugs which I understand why they wouldn't publish. Like, if a build, like the reason 5.3.6 for phones hasn't come out today, even though they said they were trying their hardest to get out today, was because the bug that they found at the very last minute would make it impossible for you to update to a newer build, which is kind of annoying. I mean, they've done it before.
So you'd have to roll back all the way and then update.
Yeah, roll back and all, which I wouldn't mind. I mean, but a lot of people would. So I understand that, but with the store bug, for example, they weren't sure about releasing this build. Release the build. It's a bug. We understand. Bugs happen. If the store app crashes every now and then, it's a bug. It's pre-release software. We get it. It's fine.
Right.
I just don't understand. I mean, like, they released. I will always go back to this argument. They released build 9879 in October last year, whenever it was. That was the worst desktop build in the world. Everybody who's used that build all agree together that build was buggy. I mean, it had Explorer.exe crashes, memory leaks, all that great under the hood stuff that was making the system unstable. They released that build fine, but they didn't release a build for like over a month between 9926 and 10,041. That was over a month waiting, and there were builds between there that were technically fine. I mean, they had bugs, but they worked, and they still didn't release them because the bugs that they thought were in there weren't were too bad for insiders. We aren't just consumers who just want updates early. We are people who want to use pre-release software because we're weird.
Right, well, but that's what I mean. It's very confusing to me. Like you said, there are some showstopper bugs. I get that. Hey, this bricks your phone. Okay, that's because that happened in one of them because people tried to put it on things that they shouldn't have.
Well, then
so like, there are things I can understand, but yeah, some of this is just confusing to me. All that aside, because we could talk about this for hours, and we probably have over the course of all these podcasts. They have a bit of a deadline to finish Windows 10 Mobile.
And the deadline is soon, I imagine.
Yeah, so we have a story this week. Ev Leaks, I think is Evan, what's his last name? Blass? Is that right?
No idea. Yes.
Yeah, Evan... let me check here. Yes, Blass, I was right. Okay, so he wrote a guest editorial for site this week. And honestly, like, the editorial, if you want to read it, like, there's a link to it. But what we want to talk about here is, in it, he said that the Lumia flagships are going to launch on the 10th of October, which is less than a month from now. So it creates a little clever word play because it's 10-10, get it? And actually, that works both in Europe and America, 10-10.
The 10th is a Saturday.
It is a Saturday. So this would be what we surmised when we discussed this in our little chats before we actually write up the story. And what is this? This is probably the launch date of actual sale, where the announcing date is before that.
What, you reckon they'll start selling on a Saturday?
Yeah, people, so they can camp out overnight.
I'm not. I don't see. Well, yeah.
I know you'll be at PC World.
Doesn't sound likely to me. I mean, from things I've heard, the 10th is unlikely.
Is it going to be that month?
Oh yeah, it'll be October. But
so regardless of if it's 10-10, 10-17, 17-10, however you want to phrase it, it's still about a month.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a month. Regardless, October, between the 1st of October and the 31st or the 30th. Is it 31 days in October?
That's right, because Halloween.
Yes. Whatever, within that span of days, there will be an announcement for the Lumia 950 and whatever else. Yeah. But the 10th, I'm not too sure on the 10th.
All right, what if Cortana, because Halo 5 comes out on the 27th.
The same day.
But what if it came out the same day and they had Cortana say she's back alive in Halo and have her announce the flagships?
Wow. So
and she's like, I'm here.
You're playing Halo and like you're in a big action
on
scene.
These new flagships, and then like the whole like icon, and then they could do a HoloLens announcement too, where you could have like
I like the idea of you're playing in a really like intense fight scene, and you're like shooting all the guys, and there's so many of them, the music's playing, and then like you find Cortana finally, all the music stops, and everyone looks around, and she gets up, she goes, Master Chief, have you bought the new Lumia 950 yet? And it's just like, what? It's available today. You need to go to the store now.
It's available now in Microsoft stores and other supporting locations. They could just have like Master Chief's like looking around for like the new weapons, and they've introduced new weapons. It's like Spartan Locke's running around, and he like is getting defeated by Spartan Locke, and he doesn't know what to do, and he just sees this item, and it's just like a blue piece of like, or I guess the new ones aren't blue, and he doesn't know what it is, and he's just like, bam, and he picks it up, and you know how those ads, they have like the voice, and she goes, "Hi, I'm Cortana." You just have it like on a Lumia, and then he's like, "Oh, finally!" And it's like he's found like an old relic from the past of humanity that has like the latest version of Cortana on a Lumia 950 XL, which is so future-proof that Master Chief can use it.
Yeah, it's just
perfect.
Again, Microsoft, we're your marketing guys.
That's not our best idea.
No, that was one of the worst ones, I think. I mean, gamers would be so mad. That'd be an awful idea.
I think they want like this cognitive dissonance that like, yeah, it's clever that Cortana's on phones, but we never want a phone in Halo.
No. There's no...
Check out the new band on Spartan Locke.
So wait, the first week of October is from the Thursday, the 1st, to the, I guess... So the first proper week is Monday the 5th.
I got to pull out a calendar? Okay.
I'm looking at calendar. I reckon it would be within that week, from the 5th to the, I guess, 10th.
5th to the 10th. Oh, the 10th is so unreasonable, except it's what I said 5 minutes later.
No, I'm just including it, but I wouldn't say the 10th. I just don't think. Maybe the first week of October, like the first proper week.
Yeah, I think that's the time span we're looking at. But what that would mean
and they don't usually do Mondays. They don't usually do Mondays. So maybe the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th. This is just me speculating now.
There's a lot of things in October.
Is it? No, it is. What?
There's a lot of things in October, and I don't think they either want to combine all of them in one, but they're across so many platforms that doesn't make any sense.
Well, they could do like the Lumia, the 950 announcement on the 1st, and then the whatever else, the Surface Pro 4 on the 5th, and then something else on the 10th, and then something else on the 15th. Just every 5 days, an announcement. Like, it's like Christmas. Like 12 days Christmas.
Admittedly, can you imagine if that's how it worked out? You had flagships on the first week. No, they're going to announce the flagship at the same time as the SP4, though, right? In the Band 2?
I'm not sure if that's been confirmed or just rumoured.
And then later they'll announce Office 2016.
That's September, though.
No, Office 2016 is October.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Office 2016.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right. I wrote it wrong, but in the article, it's right. It's September.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I should have.
Not anymore, it doesn't. Yeah. Now it says September. In any event. Yeah. So I don't know when they're going to launch it, but I guess we'll see.
But yeah, anyway, Office 2016. Microsoft confirmed this week that it's coming September 22nd. It was rumoured before. There was like a leaked screenshot of the date on some sort of website. And now Microsoft has come out and said, hey, guess what? Office 2016 coming September 22nd, what? What day is that? 2015. Okay, the URL says 2016. That was a worry there. So yes, Office 16 is the fully featured and touch-enabled version of the desktop version, at least, it is more desktop orientated. Microsoft's full Office suite, including Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Outlook, Access, and Publisher. While the mobile versions of Office and the Mac version of Office 2016 have already been released, customers have had to be patient for their Windows release. I've noticed a trend with Microsoft. Windows is always last.
Yeah, it is. It is, and people hate it, but it's true.
The public preview of the software has been around since May, and if you haven't...
Mac's been around for a while.
I guess if you're on the preview program, you will get automatically updated to Office 2016 if you're the final version, if you're an Office 365 subscriber. So yeah, 22nd. Look forward to that.
I think think it's kind of weird.
Why?
Why did they release every other version? Because I wrote this article like today, and I was going through, and it's basically every other Mac has been updated 2016. They had a preview event where at an Apple keynote they showed off a version of Office for a brand new device. Like they have all this other stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, now we'll get Windows." And for a while I used to be like, "Oh, I don't care." The people used to always yell in the comment section about like, "Why is Windows last? Why is Windows last?" And I used to be like, "I don't really care." But honestly, why wouldn't you have Windows be first?
No, it doesn't. I mean, my original reasoning, or why I originally believed that it wasn't Windows first, is because they were waiting for Windows 10. But Windows 10's here now, guys.
Right, yeah, it's here. I mean, if anything, you launch it at the same time, and then you focus on the mobile one should have come later. They should have had Office 2016 first, because that's the desktop operating system that came out, and then had Office Mobile come out at the same time as Windows 10 Mobile. Like, wouldn't that have made much more sense?
Yeah, but I
like, why would you release the mobile one at like near the same time as the desktop one, and the desktop one near the same time as the mobile one?
It's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense.
I reckon half of the reason why things are last on Windows right now is because at the time in which they started all these projects, Windows 10 was far off. So they were like, let's just work on iOS and Android for now. And then they started working on Windows closer to the time. But of course, if you work on iOS and Android first, they will be finished first. So they come out first. And then Windows came out, and we're like, "Oh, we're still working on it. Give us however long." And now,
give us a few months, whatever.
We
for
don't
the record,
care
the article does say
now.
2015. The article says even though the URL for some reason.
Yeah, I saw the URL. It's 2016. Oops, I guess someone made a mistake and changed it afterwards. But yeah, so September 22nd, Office 2016.
So there you go. So as we already alluded to, this week we had the Apple keynote.
Which is totally Microsoft related somehow. Come back, folks, because I know that's what you're here for. So if you're in the corner over there, like eating Doritos, which by the way, Zach and I love, both chili heat wave, man. Yeah, it's the best.
Anyway, come back because we're about to troll Apple just a little, but we don't have a ton of time.
There's a few, because we tweeted on Twitter that we're going to be talking about Apple. There's a few Apple users who are like just being quiet and watching, and they're like, "What are they going to say?" We're going to rip into you, so just leave now.
No, I have a prepared statement to troll Apple in about 5 minutes. But for right now, we're going to talk about how Apple had someone from Microsoft. His name is Kirk Koenigsbauer?
A Microsoft guy. That's the only thing.
A Microsoft guy. He came off to help show off Apple and that sort of thing. So the iPad Pro came out this week. I'm sure you've heard about it.
Been announced.
What was it? Yeah, sorry. It's announced. Actually, if you haven't heard about it, it's basically a bigger version of the iPad.
We're going to talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about, I guess, a little bit of that. But it runs Office. And to me, this is a pretty big step because Apple has competitors to Office. They have Notes, right? Or whatever they're called. They have the competitor to Office.
That's true.
But at their keynote event, showing off iOS 9 split screen on the iPad Pro, they not only showed off a Microsoft program, they had someone from Microsoft come show it off. So he showed off Word, and they can open it and then highlight and scratch through things with the Apple Pencil. And then they multi-screened it in there, and they have Word and Excel next to each other, all shown off by this guy. So a lot of people have taken this different ways. I think a lot of people count this as a victory for Microsoft. I know that Apple's still going to have their competitors, but I think this is like a big secession of land to Microsoft to say, we know that if we want to sell this as a pro-level productivity device, it has to run Office.
Right, but you keep saying this new device, it's a new tablet that runs Office. If we rewind back like 3 years when the Surface RT first came out, the selling point was it's a Windows device, it's like a tablet that runs Office. And we've done a full loop. Like, this iPad can't run desktop apps. The Surface RT couldn't run desktop apps. It's hilarious, I think, this whole thing.
Oh, yeah. No. I have my statement ready to rant, but I want to hear your thoughts first, and then I'll try not to repeat them too much.
I mean, I understand Microsoft's whole thing of, we're a software company. There are other platforms out there. We write software for everybody. Yeah, that's all great. But your Office mobile apps... Can your Office mobile apps do what you just demoed on the iPad Pro? Can you use a Surface Pen and do whatever you did? Can you? I haven't tried it.
I have no idea.
If you can, then I guess all is forgiven. But if you can't, what are you doing? Just stop it. Also I find funny if they had to obviously practice this demo, and they obviously had to write the software for the iPad Pro, so they must have known in advance before the announcement that an iPad Pro was coming with an Apple Pencil. I'm not calling it the Apple Pencil, by the way. It's an Apple goddamn pen. I refuse to call it the stupid Apple Pencil. So the iPad stylus was they must have known about it. So I wonder if they were, because I imagine they were under NDA, but I imagine they were like, let's show the bosses this, let's show the Surface people. So I wonder if they've taken inspiration, the Surface Pro 4 with
or maybe they just went over to the Office mobile team and said, hey, look, I'm just going to say, I think it's a pretty good idea if you could figure out scratching through and underlining with the pen. Let's just put that in your pocket. There you go. Yeah. You're good.
No, I just... Microsoft. Thanks for
So you're upset with Microsoft at this?
I'm a little bit. I don't know why.
I mean, to me, I've succumbed to the fact that Microsoft is a software company that happens to make hardware, not a hardware company that happens to make software.
Yeah, but you're a software company that makes software as well. But you have.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, no, I'm saying it. You're a software company that's made a platform for software. You would think that your own platform that you built would come first. And I know they've said many times, no, Windows 10, whatever else, but whatever.
Well, actions speak louder than words. So Nadella can get up there and say Windows is the premier platform to show off Microsoft services and products, but then you have to do that. I mean, honestly, I want to be blown away by Office 2016 because I'm one of those guys that says, why do I want to pay for it? I have Office 2013. Give me a reason to want Office 2016. And Office Mobile, give me a reason to have an Office 365 subscription to use Office Mobile on my Surface device. Because right now I got Office 2013 on it, it works okay, but it's not super touch friendly. So you need to sell people, and like you said, they should focus on their own first, and then do this other stuff. They're probably a little shackled though because the iPad Pro had a launch date. They had to have it ready by then, I guess.
Yeah.
But whatever. Is it time? Can I have a list?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go, folks. So Apple invents innovation. It's true. Yeah, that's true. So let me just go through this bullet points because I'm sure we've all kind of heard these same jokes. A guy wrote a comic like 3 years ago. It uses words let's just say I would have to censor it pretty dramatically, but it's basically he stands up there and is like, we have a Surface. And then they're like, no one cares about your Surface. And then they copy it and it's like, did you make that? And he's like, yes, we did. So now you have the iPad Pro, which to me is sickening that it's being compared to the Surface Pro 3. The Surface Pro 3 is this glorious, beautiful piece of hardware that's actually a tablet that can replace your laptop in many cases. It runs full everything, and it has a touch operating system. Windows 10 was basically built around the Surface Pro 3. Like, honestly, I honestly think the Surface Pro 3 is the #1 device to show what Windows 10 is supposed to be, this perfect amalgam of touch and non-touch. And then the iPad Pro comes out, and they compare it to the same thing because they both have Pro in the name, and they're both out recently. To me, the iPad Pro is a lot more like the Surface 2.
Yeah.
It's thinner, it's lighter. It doesn't run programs. Who's going to drop $799 plus $100 for a Apple, what are we calling it? The iPad stylus? And then a smart keyboard, which, by the way, has the same mistakes as the original Surface, where it only has one viewing angle. And when it's folded, it looks like a piece of garbage. Like it bumps and it doesn't. It looks like you bought a third-party keyboard to snap onto your regular iPad.
Not only
it
that.
Doesn't. What was that?
Not only that, but the actual the lappability of the iPad Pro.
There's no lappability.
It looks even worse than the Surface RT does.
There's no trackpad, which is something Apple's great at. You'd have to have a mouse, which they didn't present one with it. So I guess they're saying you're not going to use this with a mouse, which basically means this is an iPad with a keyboard attached to it.
Which, guess what you can do already? You can go out to the store, you can buy an iPad 4 or whatever, 3, whatever the latest version of the normal iPad is, and you can go out and buy a keyboard, and you can connect it to the iPad, And you've got a Surface iPad
and
Pro.
it looks the same because like keyboards, they do like the wraparound and the triple fold, so it's a stand and like all that stuff. That's already been around.
Yeah.
Like they didn't make a new thing here. All right, so that rant's there. So to me, it's more like a Surface 2. It's a tablet that can only run apps that also runs Office. Except you have to pay for Office on the iPad Pro. You didn't have to pay for Office on the Surface 2. I guess developers are going to support it more, but they had the little Adobe apps where they like Photoshop and all that, but you can't install programs on it. If I'm dropping $1,000 on a device, I want it to run programs. Like, this is just ridiculous.
I mean, who's going to buy this device?
No one's, I mean, honestly, I have Apple friends. I had people who were like, the Apple event's on my birthday for the second year in a row. I'm so excited. I didn't see one comment from them after the event.
You know what?
No, like the day before, they were, I'm so excited. Like, it's on my
here's the thing.
New things to buy, nothing on Facebook about it. Even for my friends that love Apple religiously.
Here's the thing, that other than the Apple TV stuff, which doesn't really matter, that event was more of the same. This iPad Pro is just a Surface, or a Surface rip-off. The iPhone 6s is just the iPhone 6 with the ability to lightly tap the screen or whatever. And I think that was the only two major things they announced.
I mean, they have a few, like, I admit, for this one thing I will give. The iPad Pro is different than the Surface 2 because the pen or pencil. I will admit, for an artist, the Apple Pencil actually looks really nice. Because with the angle support and the pressure sensitivity and stuff. But for like a productivity device, other than that, I don't really see it. I can admit that that's a nice thing, though. And then, Force Touch or whatever. I'm sure people will love it, but I don't, whatever. They also copied Living Images, which has been on Nokia's for like ever. And that was a new thing. Let me see. Multitasking side by side is a new. I'm multitasking side by side right now on my device. And one of them is an Office program.
I think the best thing about this whole Apple event is that after the Apple event, Surface was trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like Microsoft didn't even do anything. There was like no marketing campaign. Microsoft just got free advertising because of an Apple event, which is very rare. And a lot of the time, it's everybody laughing at other companies for copying Apple, but this time, and I to be fair, I kind of think that the majority of Apple lovers also know this, but they know that Apple was copying the Surface Pro.
And everybody knows that.
But the thing that annoys me the most is that everybody knows it. But if this was Microsoft copying Apple, they'd be like, Microsoft are terrible. They can't create. They're just the worst company. Because Apple have done it and copied, and everybody's admitting this and accepting it. They're not saying just because they copied it's a bad thing. They're like, yeah, the iPad Pro is a Surface ripoff, but it's not a bad thing. Why not?
Why not? Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, this is all bounced. I mean, if you go like really deep into this history, Apple actually, apparently, I just saw this, I can't verify this, filed a patent for like this type of the smart keyboard before the Surface came out, but they didn't come out with it until after the Surface came out.
Right.
But Microsoft came out with a tablet in like 2002 that no one cared about, right?
Hmm?
So
not
to
Apple.
me,
Apple didn't. Microsoft.
Or I'm saying Apple, Microsoft. Bill Gates stood up there with like a tablet in 2002.
Windows XP tablet. It was like this is and nobody cared.
And nobody cared. iPad comes out, people care. Surface, they say it's a ripoff. Then a Surface ripoff, it's okay, it's not a bad thing. Doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that's just.
I can admit Apple makes good hardware. People talk to me like they know that I cover Microsoft for a living, and that I'm passionate about this sort of thing, and they'll say stuff like somebody said to me. This is one of my girlfriend's like closest friends. Comes to me as if I would yell at her. Like, this is a podcast. Like, I show the emotion here. I'm not going to yell at my friend that owns an iPad about this.
I do.
Like,
I yell at all my friends who own Apple things. Like, how dare you? You cannot be in my friend's circle.
And she sits there, and she's telling me a story about how she lost some photos, and she's trying to work with, like, Adobe. And then she's like, I know you, like, I know you're like a Microsoft guy. I'm like, really? What?
I'm not sensitive to the fact other people own Apple. You can talk about it. I like how they're like whispering in the room, like, I've got the iPad. Don't show him.
Don't show. It's not like it's an ex-wife, like, or something.
Oh no, I brought the iPad and Zach's here. Oh, God damn it.
Yeah, I can't show off my new Apple Pencil. Oh. So here's the thing, like the thing with my Apple is that they were so innovative for so long, or innovative, depending on where you're from. And now there are some things they do that are quite innovative. The Force Touch is nice. So, I mean, Like, their trackpads are good, their hardware is nice. I'm not saying they don't make good things. I mean, look at how many people have bought iPads. Obviously, they're good. But to me, and I honestly think this, tablets became popular because they did a task in your handheld device, and they weren't powerful enough to be computers. The reason tablets were invented, I think in large part, was because they couldn't get a computer to be that small. So they built a tablet operating system with tablet apps to do singular tasks per app. And that was the reason for a tablet. We've now reached a point where you can have very thin tablets that run a full PC's hardware.
I mean, everything these days...
We're getting to a point where you're getting phones that can almost run PC hardware now. So the iPad's getting squeezed from and it's just not... I think it's a device that's still going to be really popular. People are going to like the iPad for a long time. But there are going to be other devices that do more for less money. There already are.
Right, absolutely. I mean, like you're saying, a long time ago, it was you had a mobile phone, you had a laptop, you had a PC, and then the tablet was added to it between the phone and the laptop. And now they're kind of filling the gap even more. So now you've got like small phones who do the phone job. Then you've got like phablets, which are like a phone and a tablet. And then you've got tablets, and then you've got two-in-ones, which is like, or the air quotes Surface, or the Surface Pro, or the iPad Pro. And they're like two-in-one tablets that are that can somehow kind of do a lot of what a laptop can do, but not everything. And then you've got laptops, and then you've got like bigger laptops, like 17-inch laptops. And then you've obviously got desktops. So there's more and more form factors these days.
Right, but a lot of those form factors, I don't think you need a device from every one of them. I mean, to me, Apple was at that event showing more operating systems. They now have a TV operating system. Windows is trying to become one operating system that runs on multiple devices. And so you look at something like in the future, we're 5 years from now, you're going to have phones that can be PCs, tablets can already be PCs. At some point in the future, you could probably replace your phone with a tablet with unlimited data between things like WhatsApp and WhatsApp calling and Skype and whatever. So there'll probably be a point where people say, do I want a 7-inch tablet and a Bluetooth headset that can be a computer and a 7-inch or 8-inch tablet, or do I want a phone? And these devices, people are going to stop having all of them. People used to have phone, tablet, and something else, or phone and something else. But now, I don't know. It's just different. Anyway, rant's over. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, my my mic's muted. Yes, rant over.
Anyway, sorry, I got a little emotional there.
It's all right.
I get upset because people act like they're the best thing ever, but we all know that all these tech companies copy each other. So I don't think Apple should get more credit than everybody else. Because everybody says that's a good idea, I want one. That's why I have a Windows Phone. That's why a Windows Phone looks a lot like other devices. That's why the Surface started coming out. But Microsoft built a new type of hardware. And like a new operating system built around that hardware. And I think that's the way of the future. But anyway, sorry for getting so upset.
Quite all right. Apology accepted. Wait, whose story is it now? Or is it
poll? We just got a poll.
Time.
Yeah. So we had a poll kind of inspired by the Apple news this week. And it just is, if Windows Phone / Windows 10 Mobile went away, what would you use? So Zach, let me ask you first. So I'll get my wind back and breathe. The options were Android, iOS, or BlackBerry. Windows 10 Mobile doesn't exist anymore. You have to pick one of them. What do you pick?
If so, are you telling me I have to live in a world in which Windows Phone isn't a thing?
Yeah, that's it.
iPhone.
Yeah. iPhone. Okay.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. I've always said. I mean, I'm open about this as well. If I weren't a Microsoft guy, I'd be an Apple guy. I'd not be a Google guy. I'd not be a BlackBerry guy. I'd be Apple.
After everything I just said, and everything you just said.
Yeah, I still hate Apple though. I don't like it. Apple are horrible people. I mean, horrible people. Apple are a horrible company. I hate Apple. But if I had to choose, I'd absolutely go Apple, because I don't know. I just, you know how Steve Jobs used to say, "It just works." It does. Yeah. He's not wrong. Apple products do.
Yeah, it does. It does work. I had an iPhone because when I got when it was time for me to buy my first smartphone.
Wait, just before you move on, this is how much Apple is great. Broken iPhone 5C on my desk, so there you go.
Oh, there you go. I don't know. So when I bought my first smartphone, it was really iPhone was one of the only really solid devices. So I got that or whatever. So I'd probably go back to that. But you and I are different than most folks.
What are you trying to say? We're weird?
Yep. This is we are pretty weird. I just yelled for like 10 minutes about an Apple event, even though I'm a Microsoft journalist. In any event.
It's our job. It's fine.
This was our most voted on poll ever.
Really?
3,254 votes.
We're so popular now.
Yeah.
Let's invite all 3,000 people to a party and just thank them for voting.
In England?
Absolutely. Well,
we can do that.
They can come to England. It's nice here. Nice and cold.
Out of those 3,200 plus, 52% said Android, 31% said iOS, and a surprising 18% said BlackBerry. Well, and mind you, this is a large sample size. This is over 3,000 people. Well, relatively large.
Here's the thing.
18% BlackBerry.
BlackBerry are doing a new thing, I think. I think they're moving to Android. So technically, BlackBerry, Android, one thing.
Kinda, isn't it? It's probably still it's like BlackBerry plus Android, I assume.
It's BlackBerry hardware running Android OS.
That sounds like a good thing.
I mean the leaked renders and stuff of the hardware are coming. It looks lovely. It's like a full, a normal smart screen phone, the screen, so it's tall and whatever else, 5 inches. Right. But it also pushes up, so it reveals like a BlackBerry trademarked keyboard. That looks really cool, and I think that'd be quite popular among enterprises or business users who are using Google services or are on Android. So that might sell quite well, and I think Google and Apple and Microsoft, if that device comes to light, they might have a new, or BlackBerry will come back fighting with a new. Yeah,
and at that point, BlackBerry won't be fighting as an OS; they'll be fighting as a hardware competitor.
Exactly, which
they could actually probably compete as, because to this day, if you say BlackBerry, you say what's the first word that comes to mind? People say security.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know they might, to me, I think BlackBerry, I think safe. I don't think much else, but they're very secure devices.
Doesn't the Prime Minister use a BlackBerry? I'm sure I've read that somewhere.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure the majority of world leaders use BlackBerry because they're so secure and they can't be hacked.
Well, that's what I mean. Is if it's security plus Android apps, that's what people would want. Yeah. So there you go. So yeah, most people said Android though. So there you go. There's that, which isn't too surprising. Most of the world uses Android. All right, we got a game, Zach, because we're about to wind down. I got one last segment for you.
I like how you keep calling this a game.
It's a game for me. It's called Good Game. It's called Good, Bad, Meh. So I say the story, and then you tell me in one word, good, bad, or meh. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Let me see here. Hold on a sec. I have a timer set. Timer, 30 seconds. Good. All right, not working. I'm just going to go for it. Halo trailer leaked.
Good. Well, good.
You can do a few more words.
Because it's not actually leaked.
Okay. Twitter app receives updates bringing quote tweet and multi-account support as a universal app.
Good.
Former Xbox chief says there will be an Xbox 2 someday. Good.
Why would that be bad?
Microsoft spends $400 million to be the official partner of the NFL, American Football League. It's actually National Football League, but in American football. And a broadcaster in the opening day of the NFL and primetime television called a Surface an iPad.
Bad. Fire the guy.
Yeah. There you go.
They really spent $400 million on marketing for the guy to call it an iPad.
They spent $400 million on everything, and
ridiculous.
And then he still did call it that. Yep. I wrote a whole story on it. You can go read it.
That's ridiculous. Also, the Halo trailer leaked thing. It's not technically leaked. It's being aired. I think it's just it might be in the UK. I haven't been to the cinema in a while, but it's airing in cinemas. So it's not like air quote, a leaked trailer coming from inside Microsoft. It's out in the public technically. If you want to go and see it, you can go to a cinema and watch the pre-cinema adverts.
Well, there you go.
But yeah.
Well, there's this week's Good Bad Meh featuring Zach.
Next week it'll be featuring Sean.
Whatever. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, also with the Xbox 2 rumors. I mean, who didn't think there wouldn't be an Xbox 2? Yeah. Although I don't think, would they really call it the Xbox 2? I don't think they would. No.
I don't think so. And to his credit, he said that the real question is what it would look like. It'd probably be discless and that sort of thing. So what's it shaped like, etc. Anyway,
well, I'm waiting for a discless Xbox One.
Nope, sorry.
I want a get rid of the drive in the Xbox One and sell it for cheaper than the bloody Xbox One sold now, and I'll buy it.
No, but you know what you can get?
A discless Xbox One with 2 terabytes of hybrid hard drive, whatever it is, and the Elite controller. Do it.
Nope. You know what you get?
What?
A new power brick. Now available online.
Oh yeah, for free if it's what. You know what? Mine's making a weird noise. I might have to get mine replaced.
There you go. You can now order one online.
In before it's American only, US only.
Oh really?
Probably. No, in Microsoft.
This is my I'll have to bring an empty suitcase just to buy Microsoft stuff over Christmas and bring it back to you guys. I'll be like Santa will come in, Surface for you, Lumia 950 for you.
You know, I do worry that the upcoming Lumia 950s will be only available in the US at first. It's Microsoft. They're going to be like, available now in the US and coming to the UK and other countries later. Don't say it. If you say that, Microsoft, I'm moving to Apple. Okay, I'm buying an iPhone 6s, a Mac, and a watch, and I'm just joining 95 Mac and going to write with Michael and have a great time. I'm telling you.
I'm just ready. Right here. I'll be like left at the altar by my podcast host. So I'll get another one, and he'll leave for Apple too. They'll start paying me.
Sean, don't work with Sean. He just makes you want to join Apple.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, all right. Was that it for this week?
I think so.
All right. Whew. Well, this has been the WinBeta Podcast, episode 32 for the week of September 11th, 2015. As always, I am one of your hosts, Sean Michael. You can find me on Twitter at Sean_Michael_UK. You can find the other co-host, Zach. Where we find you?
At ZachB_.
There you go. And you can find winbeta.org on Twitter at winbeta.org. We're on Facebook. We're not on Snapchat, I don't think. Google Plus, etc.
What would we Snapchat if we was on Snapchat?
Just pictures of like insider builds that they don't have access to.
Wow.
Just snap them. There you go.
Look what I have and you don't. Shame.
Yeah, exactly. All right, there you go. You can always find us on YouTube and SoundCloud, iTunes, all your favorite podcast apps for the audio and video.
And you can join us every week for the live WinBeta podcast at winbeta.org/live. That's our new URL.
Right, yeah, go to the new live page and then we'll have the after party.
We're going to be trying to do more live stuff. So like when a new build comes out, I'm going to try and live stream. I've worked it out. I did do a live stream test of upgrading to a new build before, but it kept cutting out. I've worked it out. It's all fixed. So we will definitely start doing live streams of new builds and stuff.
And if you ship, and if someone gives me an Xbox One, we'll start doing Let's Play videos.
Yes, we will, but I'm not sure if we will actually have them on the website straight away because our audience isn't gaming, and I don't think YouTube is either, so we'd have to do it on Twitch, but we can do it.
You talk about YouTube just introduced YouTube gaming.
Yeah, but our subscribers aren't gamers.
All right, we'll figure something out.
They get mad when Simon posts a how to open games folder in so yeah, our subscribers are very picky people.
All right then. Well, anyway, that's been it for this week. Thanks, guys. We will see you on the next one.